The 76ers are hopefully learning a very valuable lesson right now as they watch a team dominate the playoffs, a team who took their plan and executed it better than they could have ever imagined. We'll talk about that. Also, a new big board of prospects this week, who rose up, who fell down. And lastly, Paul George gets called out to his face about the Sixers potentially rebuilding. We'll get into it all, but welcome into Philly Take with RB. And we started off today with an update, but essentially the update is no update. That is right. This was 6 weeks ago today. Tim Bontemps says the Sixers say Joel Embiid underwent arthroscopic knee surgery and will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. Now, maybe by the time I post this, something will come out. Maybe a news update, maybe a press release. I don't know. And they'll say Joel Embiid is going to be out this long or this long. Or in typical Sixers fashion, they won't say anything. And we won't know. We'll be left up in the air. Look, RB, don't be negative, man. Don't be pessimistic. We turned the corner. It's a new day. Sixers got the third pick in the draft. We should be happy, right? Let's be positive. The Sixers will put something out. Maybe it'll be on a Friday night or a Saturday night like they typically do in the weirdest times. But let's see if we get an update on Joel Embiid. We'll leave it there for now. But speaking of which, in the meantime, we have to talk about prospects because RB dropped his newest big board. If you guys are not following us on Instagram, Twitter/X, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere, we are dropping a big board every single week of the prospects. And I think we know the top of the list right now, right? Nothing changed. Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, and VJ Edgecombe. But the latter half did change. Number 4, I have Con Knuppel. Number 5, I have Trey Johnson this week. And number 6 is Common Malawach. Now, again, these things are going to be moving up and down. We'll see what happens week to week. This is just based on the things I've been watching and researching and, just taking a look into different things, the combine, all of that. Now, this does not mean I would pick all of these players at number 3. Like Con Knuppel is a nice player. Some people want the Sixers to draft him at 3. I say no way. I would maybe trade back and take Con Knuppel if the plan is to trade back, or maybe I would take Common Malawach, right? A big. We've talked about that before, but I don't think these players would be worth it at number 3. I think we know it's between Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe, and I did drop a breakdown a few days ago talking about that comparison and who I would select and why. So be sure to check that out. But this is our second big board. Let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Who would you include on this list? Let me know your thoughts down below. Here was my first big board last week. I had Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears. Those guys dropped down, and a couple others rose up. So give me your thoughts down below. But in the meantime, speaking of young players, we need to talk just for a second about the level of dominance that we are seeing on the floor right now. We've been streaming a lot of these playoff games, and part of me has joy knowing that the Thunder are carrying out the plan that the Sixers once had. And, we joke about it all the time, but what Sam Hinkie died for, right? His sins. The Thunder are carrying it out to perfection. Like, the Thunder are so freaking good. And people say that SGA is a foul baiter and they're annoying to watch. At the end of the day, man, this team had 68 wins. This team has 60 wins this season, regular season and playoffs combined, of double-digit points or more. They've won 60 games this year by double-digit points. That is unbelievable. And I've said it all playoffs long. They were my pick to go and represent the Western Conference. And if they can get the job done, they are going to completely shatter the idea that we have on team building. It is going to completely change. And I'll tell you why in a second. But SGA, last 5 games, 38, 31, 35, 32, 31. He's playing like the MVP. They came into the playoffs well-rested, right? They swept the Grizzlies. They blew them out of the water. And then they had a really tough matchup. And they were battle-tested. And we thought that they might go down against the Nuggets, who were champions a couple years ago. And you know what they did? They were down 2-1. They had back-to-back fourth quarters in games 4 and 5, where they showed that toughness and resilience. And they showed why these young guys could step up and get it done. And they win that series, even though it was very tough. 7 games, a battle. Aaron Gordon hurt in game 7. But they got it done. They pushed through. And I said in game 1 of this current series that they would start playing more freely. They feel that burden off their shoulders, and you could see it the way they're playing. And it's crazy how every game, it feels like it's going to be a cardiac game. And once they get into that groove, once they start hitting those transition threes and, their defense just locks into a different gear, there's no stopping them. You just can't stop these boys. And it like I said, it's in a way frustrating that the Sixers never got to this point. This is what the Sixers were trying to build. And I do believe Sam Hinkie would have done it, but it kind of brings me joy, like seeing it play out, And this was really the main kicker right here, right? We could talk about the draft, which we will in a second, right? You have to hit on those draft picks, and we'll get into that. But this trade right here is unbelievable, man. Paul George for SGA, Gallinari, 5 first-round picks, and 2 pick swaps. I mean, you want to talk about changing a franchise. I mean, that's crazy. And it's wild. Like, the Sixers have had players over the years where they probably could have gotten a similar King's ransom. But not every GM is willing to take this risk. And we look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Here's their current roster, right? The mentality has always been, hey, you have to be a certain age. You have to have experience. You have to go through the playoff losses before you can get over the hump, right? And look at this team. Their oldest player is 31 years old. They call him Unk. Alex Caruso, who, by the way, another crazy finesse trade this past year. Look at these guys. They're all 24, 25, 26, 21, 19. It's unbelievable. And the funniest thing is, like, they're beating down on the Wolves right now. And I think the Wolves are a very well-constructed team. But I've said it all playoffs. Rudy Gobert is going to be their Achilles heel. They should have never traded Cat. And they made a mistake. And Gobert brings nothing on the offensive side, which negates his defensive presence. And the Thunder are just out physicaling them, out toughing them. Like, they're an incredible team. If they didn't rest some of their guys this year, they probably could have won like 72 games. But they are changing the way that team building is being looked at, because if they can finish this job, I mean, yeah, they're going to have to pay these guys eventually. But guess what? The Thunder have 3 first-round picks next year. They have 2 in this draft, and they probably would have had 3 if they had gotten the Sixers pick. They have 2 first-round picks in 2027. They have a first in 28. They have 2 in 2029. I mean, this is unfair. Once they have to let some of these guys go, they're just going to draft more studs. And they've drafted very well. And kudos to them. But it's crazy. They only had 2 really bad seasons in 20 and 21. 22 wins, 24 wins. Right? And back after 2019, they traded for SGA. And, they had a nice journey run with Chris Paul there and stuff, and they lost in the first round, couple bad seasons, then they went 40 and 42, and then they've had these 2 dominant years, but it's not what you usually expect. Like, they're all very young, and they have first-round picks for days. They have first-rounders sitting on their bench. They don't even play because they don't need them. Like, Ousmane Dang was a lottery pick a couple years ago. Dylan Jones was a first-rounder this year. AJ Mitchell, I think, was a pick this year or last year. Who else? Nikola Topic was a first-round pick. This is crazy, man. Like, this is team building to an extreme. It's like the Eagles of the NBA right now. And, Daryl Morey said he wants to get younger, more athletic. Well, every team should be studying what the Thunder are doing, because this is a chance for a team to really be insane over the next couple years. And you can see it in the playoffs right now. Maybe Sam Hinkie would have carried this out, but the Thunder are doing it to an extreme. And it just goes to show how important draft picks are, how you have to hit on them. And that's why the Sixers need to keep this 3rd pick and need to keep stacking young players. This is the formula. This is the new formula, not building out a 3-star team. So anyway, that's where the Thunder are at. And I think they're on their way to maybe winning the whole thing. Speaking of Paul George, though, lastly, Paul George was on a podcast with Gillie, and obviously everybody knows Gillie, but listen to what he said to Paul George.
And I hate to be harsh, man, but I got to speak with the real, how we feeling, man. Bro, you played damn near just as many games as you didn't play, bro. And it's getting to the point now where it's like, man, fuck that shit, man. Rebuild all this shit, man. Because we don't even know if our motherfucking best player going to be available, man. Like, it ain't no doubt to me that Joel Embiid is the best fucking player on the planet.
Facts.
I say that all the fucking time. The only difference is we don't know what the fuck we gonna get every night, man. Oh, we might come out one night. I'm about to give you motherfuckers 50 and 20. Come on in. Then we might come out the next night and he might just settle for 17 footers all day. The one thing about Giannis is you know you going to get maximum fucking effort every fucking night, man. So that just...
I don't know if I would say about the 17 footers, but I mean, the availability is for sure. Like, I agree with
my problem, bro. Philadelphia, we like to see effort. Allen Iverson didn't win shit. He will always be the GOAT around this motherfucker because he put in 100% effort. He left everything on the floor. It's not because he won. It's not Brian Dawkins never won shit around here. He will always be a GOAT because...
Listen, man, Gilly's speaking facts, and I think he's right. You know, Paul George can hopefully take this to heart. Hopefully Embiid does too. Like, the talent is there, but we need to see the availability. And if not, you know, now the Sixers are starting to rack up these younger players, and I just talked about OKC and their formula. If not, like, to me, this is the last straw. I feel like we're already past it, but if they don't come out ready to go day one and they're playing games, I mean, why not reset, you know, and try to build a young, fiery squad and get people riled up again? So those are my thoughts, but shout out to Gilly for keeping it real with Paul George. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Give me your thoughts on that and everything down below. As always, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.